Hey, how you doing? And welcome to another episode of Technology Tuesday. I'm your host, Greg Russell, here with my good friend, partner in the studio, Mr. Jerry Franklin Poe. Jerry, thank you for being here today. Got a great show, excited to share with you guys some information on how to grow your business and be profitable. And we're going to be talking about how to get traffic and leads for your business. So that's what we're going to cover today. And so make sure you let us know where you're tuning in from. So if you are with us live, hit hashtag live. And if you are catching us on the replay, hashtag replay. And don't forget to let us know where you're tuning in from. If you're not a part of our group, go ahead, head over to technologytuesday.com and join our group where you can interact with me and Jerry and ask any questions you have about our journey to six figures online. So with that, we're going to get started right now.
All right, folks. We're glad to be here again for another week of Technology Tuesday. That's right. Every week here, we are bringing you the practical knowledge, the practical solutions for your business. And that's every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, Greg, I know you got some cool things in store today. For those who've been following the last couple of weeks, we've been making some tweaks, making some changes, making some updates. And we are going to be focusing on SaaS. For how you not only participate by using them, because if we go back for our previous seasons, we've been talking about a lot of different products that were in that category, services that you would subscribe to, software as a service. And now we're looking at, okay, instead of us always being the consumer, instead of us always being the user, how do you position yourself to participate in that marketplace? So with your business, which you already have, how can you create another income stream and use the technology as a profit center?
Yes, sir. And I think it's important to understand why is because, when it comes to making money online, there's the hard, difficult way, and there's a way that's a little bit easier that most people don't actually see. So we want to open your eyes up to that and say, hey, you need to get on the other side of subscriptions and be getting paid every single month for things you are giving people access to instead of just being a consumer, as Jerry said. So SaaS is a way for you to do that at software as a service and services you can offer to your perfect market who will need and use those services and pay you handsomely every single month. And you can do that with one of the softwares we're talking about, which is GoHighLevel. So to do this, Jerry, you got to have traffic. And I want you guys to make sure you grab a pen, take some notes, because we're going to drop some real important information on how you drive traffic to your site, whether this is for SaaS or anything else. It's important to understand that. So, Jerry, there are, and we're not going to hold back. We're going to hit it right here, right from the start, right quick. There's only two ways to drive traffic. Regardless of what all the things and ways you hear, it all comes down to two ways. There's only two ways. And those two ways are organically, or you pay for it, paid. Organic traffic or paid traffic. Regardless of the strategy or tactic involved, it comes down to one of those two. So before you figure out which one you think would work for you, let's talk about the pros and the cons of each, okay? So, and then we'll share with you a secret that we believe is probably the best way to do it. So organic traffic is when you generate this traffic by the things you do online, by posting content, networking with others, and it's you driving the activity that generates the lead. Okay, so it's organically, it's you doing it. You are spending your time. Okay, either you or a small team of yours are creating content where people will give you a type of response which will let them know you're interested. If you've been paying attention, you have seen this already. These are posts, especially on Facebook is a platform where people will say, hey, I got this way to do this. If you want to know about it, type yes in the comments. And that's a way for people to raise their hand and say yes. That is an example of organic traffic generation. It's you doing things and looking for people to raise their hand and get the traffic. So, and there's lots of strategies and tools around organic traffic, but it is the way in which you take your activities that you normally do and you do it in a strategic way in order to drive traffic. So, organic is the first way to drive traffic. Jerry, any your experience with organic traffic generation?
That's what I believe a lot of people attempt to do first because it's free. So that's where most people go in the beginning stages. They may not have the budget for um, some of like the ads. So they're like, okay, let me just make a post. Let me get out here and try to see if people will see it, share it, like it, and things like that.
That is correct. That is correct. So, um, yes, and even though it's free, it is using typically your time, and there is a way to get good at it, right? And so, what we're going to do is we're going to share, not here today, but there are four types of um, posts you can do that can drive traffic. And then the other types of posts you can do, which will help your reach. So, meaning the more people who will see your content. So, you have to work those back and forth. Like, think about it as pedaling a bike. All right, I'm going to reach more people. All right, I'm going to generate leads. And it's like you're pedaling back and forth, expanding your reach and driving traffic. So yes, you're right. It is free, but it takes up your time. And for people who are just getting started, that's the payoff, right? If you have time and you don't have finances, you should definitely do the organic traffic. Um, and with that, it usually involves you having conversations with people online, either through Messenger or even getting their phone number and having it on a Zoom meeting or actual phone call, but it's actually you talking to people. So that is organic marketing. And you're right, Jerry, it is the way that a lot of people start. We'll talk about the other way, and that is paid traffic. This is where you're paying a service or a person to generate traffic for you. And there are lots of services out there where you can do this. And basically, it's where you're not using your time, you're just going to pay some money and you will get traffic. Some of these is where you're paying to run ads. Other times there are services where they're like, hey, for X number of dollars, we will get this many people to your website. That doesn't mean those people will convert, but at least they will send those people to your website and you can see how many of them will convert. So those are ways that you can get traffic by paying for it on your paying for your traffic. And those are the two ways. And there's a whole lot of strategies around those ways. You can pay for Facebook ads. You can also buy ads on LinkedIn. You can buy ads on X/Twitter. So that all these platforms have a ads component to it, and you can also buy ads on TikTok, right? All these places, and if you're scrolling on your socials, you have seen the ads, and so you can invest and run ads just the same. And I think it's important to know that the secret strategy, Jared, that was going to talk about, and you kind of hinted on it, was doing it first. If you do the organic first and you're paying attention, which you should, then the types of posts should show you some things. It should show you what your target market is going to be attracted to, right? There's some posts are going to do well, some posts are not going to do well. Pay attention. Always look at your analytics. Even if you're just getting started, just start looking at the analytics. Just say, okay, what makes sense to me in this data, right? And some of the things will start to come out, right? We'll start to show, like your number of impressions, your number of engagements, right? You're always looking for things to increase, and you can see how does this post compared to this other post do? Which one did better, right? All right, let me do more of that, and you can then start to get data on those posts. What time of day was this? Who men or women respond most? Like all that data is important, and so it's not just about posting because that's the easy part. It's about studying it and then realizing what can I, what's working and what can I do more of. And that's the part that a lot of people don't think about or don't put a lot of importance on, and it should be. And I'll tell you this: if you're using Facebook, because it's one of the most popular platforms, your personal profile has a professional mode, and you can turn your personal profile on professional mode, and it will give you data on all your posts. So even the ones that aren't necessarily promotional, where it's just you're doing posts for reach, where you're posting a quote or a joke or a picture of you and your family doing stuff, right? Living life. And those are needed too, because it's social media. It's not just an advertising platform. So if you have to be social, like you have to be social on social media to get the most out of it, to get the most reach. So you can see which ones do better even on your regular posts. So again, if you're on Facebook, turn on professional mode and make some posts, and then go start looking at the data, and you will see which posts are doing well. This comes to the point, Jerry, that I want to say is like when you are running your promotional type post or your post to generate leads, this will show you what the ads should be, right? And what the ads can have in them. So it's like a lot of people want to skip that step. They want to go straight to ads because they don't feel like doing the organic marketing, or they feel their business is too um, mature for organic marketing, which if you are strategic about this, you're always going to be doing organic. You should be doing both always at the same time. So you should be doing it anyway. But the organic will show you what's going to respond on the paid. And again, if we talk about specifically Facebook, you can take your regular post and then turn those into ads as well. So even your posts that are doing well, the ones that are promotional in nature, you can then put some money behind them. So starting with organic is the best way to figure out. You're going to do organic strategically to figure out how to and what to put in paid advertising. Okay. So a lot of the professionals say that you can generate $1 million a year business with just organic alone and never have to pay for ads, right? So you don't have to pay for ads if you don't want to. You don't have to go that well, but don't skip that step of using organic to figure out what's going to work in the ad game. And I remember seeing I remember seeing a video of Russell Brunson, who was talking about he ran his business for 12 years before he ever started running ads, right? So I want you to think about that. 12 years, one of the most successful digital marketers and informational marketers, Russell Brunson, did 12 years before he started running ads. So again, you can really set your business on fire with just organic, and then you can scale it with ads if you so choose. And also, my personal belief is if you're using organic marketing, you should use it and start to generate funds. And now you have the funds to actually pay for the ads. Because if you just want to skip to ads, now those ads are just coming out your pocket. And typically, for people to become successful with ads, and Alex Hormozy has this in his book, he tells you that when you first start running ads, you will lose money. He's like you're going to lose money. It's not you haven't figured out it yet. And so running the organic will help you not lose as much money or not be losing money as long before you get those ads converting. And so that's the secret. And most people don't know that. Most people quit too soon because they're like, oh, it's not working. It's not that it's not working. You just haven't done it long enough to give the algorithm a chance to figure out who your target market is. And you haven't had the right message in front of the right market to make that ads work. So it all works. It's just, can you make it work for you? So that's what I got. And I got one more thing, but I want to make sure, Jerry, that if there's anything I missed or any way you can make it clearer, because sometimes I know I just be going on about exactly what to do, but sometimes we need to break it down.
No, I think you summed it up pretty good. The key is one, there's strategy that goes into this that sometimes gets overlooked. A lot of times people look at the content development or the content creation as a way to get the eyes on what they're doing, and they're not always paying attention to what goes on behind the curtain. There's really two sides. It's what's in front of the curtain and what's behind the curtain. A good movie reference would be the movie Prestige, right? There was the show, but then there was the mechanics that make the show work. And you were making a point when people are doing the organic traffic, the organic generation, that you want to pay a close attention to what people are responding to. And that, and any good showman, right? They're always they're always keeping track of what people respond to, as to know what they're going to keep in the show and what they're going to
Right.
take out of the show. So that's a great way to look at, how do I keep altering and my strategies. I mean, the key to all this is a word that none of us really liked when we were younger. The word is called test. All this stuff is testing. And when we heard testing when we were younger, we were like, oh my God, that's not a good thing. I hate tests, because testing is basically you having to prove that something is actually working. The reason that they gave us testing wasn't really about us. We didn't know that. We didn't really know that testing was more about them rather than what's about us. We got grades, but the grades was to determine, is the actual education working? And we thought the grades were to prove if we knew, or if we were good enough. But it really was to test them to see if what they were doing is actually working. Because if we're not getting the results, if they're not getting the results on the test, then something's wrong with the system. But we never looked at it that way. We didn't really understand that's what testing is all about. So here we're looking at, okay, how do we adjust what's working? And the only way we can know that is what are we testing out in the marketplace, and paying attention to what people respond to with the organic traffic is a great way to find out what's working. And you have to be okay with the testing, and everything's not going to test the same way. A lot of people, they expect all their posts or everything to respond the same way. No, you got to figure out which ones people are registering to, are responding to, and then how do I do more of that?
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. That's perfect. I love the analogy, and I love the movie reference. Well, I'm going to share what I believe is one to make this whole process a little easier, in terms of creating content, because uh, I was on a session with entrepreneurs, a place where we were meeting and talking, and I got to meet a couple new people. And the facilitator of this networking session asked, what frustrates you? And one of the people who responded was like, technology frustrates me. Having to do all this posting of content. They just was like frustrated, and so I think that for a lot of people, when it comes down to posting content on these social platforms, the posting content is probably the easiest part, because you have all these tools now that can help you do it, right? You have ChatGPT, you have Canva, like all these things can take the average person to be able to create the stuff and make it super easy for them to be able to post it very quickly, and with less effort. And I think that's the easiest part. But I think the part that you have to do is look at the data. What is those posts doing? And so for the strategy that I'm about to reveal, so make sure you guys write that down, is making this process a little easier. And this is what it is. And you may have heard it before, but now I want you to look at it when you do it, to look at the data. And it's where you take a long form piece of content, right? So this could be a webinar. This could be technically a Zoom meeting with a prospect or a team member, where you have long form content where it's you talking or sharing for more than 10 minutes, right? And then taking that long form content and breaking it down into smaller chunks of content. So if you start off with a long form content, you can get a lot of extra content created by breaking that long form content down. And so, Jerry, even this show, we have been, taking the show and then breaking it down into shorter bits of content. And those can also be promotional if, when you post that long form content, whether it be a image or a quote or a short form video from the long form video, you can have your link to your offer, um, right along with that content. So again, the strategy that I'm talking about is taking long form content and breaking it down into short form content that you can use as part of your content marketing strategy. And so, what we're going to be doing, if you guys are interested, I'm going to be sharing with you in detail how we do that. So, just put hashtag SaaS in the comments. That's hashtag SaaS in the comments, and we'll make sure we'll get you access to that. or just join the group at technologytuesday.com. And when you get in there, put hashtag SaaS and we'll send it to you. So again, we need you to raise your hand and say, hey, yep, I'm interested. I want to hear the step-by-step strategies, and we will get it to you, and we will not charge you for this. This will be free for those who raise their hand. So if that's what you'd like to know, make sure you do that and we'll get it right to you.
And I would probably say the best option is to hashtag, because even folks who are already part of the group, we still need to know who you are as well, right? So yeah, definitely join the group. That's a given if you're not a member, but make sure you also include the hashtag. So when we have group members that are already in the group, we want to make sure that we know who those folks are, all across the board, want to participate.
That's it. That's it. Well, listen, man, I can't wait to share some of these strategies with you guys inside of the group and in our special trainings. And make sure you guys tune in next week for another special episode of Technology Tuesday, where we'll be sharing some of our strategies and resources and things we're doing inside of GoHighLevel that other agencies are not doing, and which will help you generate revenue for your SaaS business. So, with that, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Jerry, any last words?
I think we're good, man. I look forward to next week. I look forward to getting this information out to the folks that are tuning in, the loyal listeners, because we want to see everybody come up.
That's right. So, with that, talk to you guys next week. Take care.